And here in British Columbia, we have Dr. Wallace Wong, a psychologist, who at a talk at the Vancouver Public Library a number of years ago to parents and children struggling with this, he said that 10 years ago, he only had 2 or 3 patients. Now, he was transitioning more than 1,000.
So that means it's clearly about money, because any doctor who was a good doctor would immediately, if you go from 2 or 3 patients with this weird made-up disorder that are also minors, by the way, if you go from 2 or 3 to 1,000 and you don't see any red flags, you don't care about your patients, you care about money, you care about business, you care about attention on you.
And from that number, more than 500 kids in British Columbia state care were being transitioned. I looked it up. There are only 6,000 kids in state care in BC. So about 8% of all those children were being transitioned by this one psychologist who worked for the BC Ministry of Children and Family Development.
See, what did I say? It's about the attention being on him, this doctor that this guy is mentioning. I didn't know, and I didn't suspect, because this has been going on for quite a while in Canada. Some people call it Tranada. But, wow, Canada is so fucking sexist. Holy shit. I thought they'd be, kind of like Montana, because they're similar to Montana in that they're like, hey, women can be ranchers too. I got 3 women rancher neighbors, But no, they're sexist as fuck in Canada. Because transgenderism is sexism, purely, plain and simple.
He, in this talk, and this is all recorded, I'll include this in the video as well, he said that if you're not getting the drugs or hormones you want quickly enough, pull a stunt. Say you're suicidal. It works every time.
Wow.
Imagine being a doctor encouraging children to behave that way.
And this is, all across the world, the number one reason that's always given for transitioning kids is that, well, if we don't transition them, they're going to commit suicide.
They're actually likely to commit suicide or die of medical complications from having mutilation surgeries. Obviously. Who wants to be a total fucking freak? And come to terms with that, understand that when you're 18, 19, 20, 21. No one. You think it's a good idea when you're 12, but a lot of things that seem like good ideas when you're 12 turn out to be bad ideas once you have a little bit more brain power.
They tell parents that.
They tell parents this.
They tell parents they should get behind it because their child will die by suicide. That is a terrible thing to say to a parent, that basically you also have no option. The child has no option. We're pushing them in that direction. But you as parents have no option because it'll be on you, and your child will most likely commit suicide.
See, that's medical manipulation. A lot of medicine does that. Obviously not all of it, but a lot of it is like, oh, it's so serious. And it's like not as serious as they like to act like it is.
If you don't agree.
Right, and there's no data to support it.
No.
There was a case that went to the Supreme Court of the United States. Now, there have been a lot more court cases down there, so sometimes I'm going to refer to them. But the same principles apply all across the world. But a lawyer for the ACLU, a woman identifying as a man named Chase Strangio, she admitted to the Supreme Court justice that completed suicides, that's the terminology she used, they were very rare. And this whole time, what they really meant was suicidal ideation. Well, yes, obviously children struggling with their identity so much that they want to block their puberty, go on cross-sex hormones, and perhaps cut body parts off. Yes, of course, they're going to have higher suicidal ideation. But the only hard data we have from all the studies, like in Finland, where they looked at 24 years worth of data, where nobody was lost to follow-up, it showed that over those 24 years, there were 7 suicides from more than 2,000 kids. Worked out to an annualized rate of 0.052%. They compared it to a control group where I believe it was 17 suicides. So there's no epidemic of suicides going on.
Okay, so he just explained that this study in Finland found that there were fewer suicides for kids who quote unquote transitioned or got some kind of treatment than normal kids who had none of these issues. That normal kids are having higher suicide rates than these transgender children. Because all of the focus is on what's unusual, quote unquote, which is transgenderism, and the other kids who are actually really struggling are not being given enough attention, or not being given the right attention. Way to fucking go. Here, as if I didn't need another reason to hate the trans cult.
Because children are born in the wrong body and not going through transition. The idea that puberty is a medical condition is outrageous.